Hi, welcome to Let's Get to Know Each Other. As you know, my name is Yuslin.
Hi, it's Jennifer. It's such a pleasure to have you here with us, and I'm so excited to actually talk about whatever the conversation is going to be. So, again, nice to meet you.
Well, as usual, we let the guests introduce themselves to the audience so they can get to know them. So, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Kemberly. I'm a former mental health consultant. I'm a psychology major, and I love talking about human behavior. So that's who I am. This is a great topic for me about mental health service. So
Mhm.
Well,
guess
Okay.
welcome
Amazing.
again, Kimberly. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And lady, you are supposed to be here way before today, but because of the timing, we couldn't make it. So today is the day. So our conversation for today is going to be about relationships. Are you guys
Okay.
ready?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh wow. So Kimberly, more often when people are talking about relationships, the first thing comes to mind is the relationship with only with boyfriend, the boyfriend
Mhm.
girlfriend relationship, not even the parent. Can you please talk a little bit about the relationships that you get the chance to have, or the type of relationship that you know?
I'm I'm more I'm talking about like boyfriend and girlfriend because I know there's different relationships, right? There's like relations between friends and family, but focusing on like boyfriend and girlfriend, I feel like I have right now. I'm going through something with a couple of friends who are always depending on their boyfriend, always with their boyfriend, and now that they feel like they seem like they have lost themselves, they seem like they rely on a certain routine, they're always with that person, and now that this person is not with their boyfriend, they have parted ways, they broke up. Now she's like, what do I do? She was like, I had a routine and my routine was always to be with him. So she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what are your hobbies? What do you do for yourself? You know what I'm saying? And she kind of lost that. And she notices now that he's not there. And I've seen that a lot.
Ah.
I'm so happy that you are talking about this type of relationship, because I think we all can say something about that relationship, because we are seeing whether it's us or friends or a relative or someone close to us, we see situation like that. Some people, when they are in a relationship, they give their 100% to that person, and they tend to forget about their own selves. They don't do separate things, so they don't go out by them, whether by themselves or like friends or relatives. Like everything they playing with the boyfriend or the girlfriend. And like you said, when the relationship, like work, and when like they separate, when they broke up, so there's a problem there. That's when this particular person realized that, oh my god, I I'm nothing. I don't have a hobby. I don't have a self.
Yeah.
Without that person, what do I do now? So, Jennifer, I don't know if you know someone who, like, who have the relationship like that, or if you know any
I
story
do.
about that. But I think we all can say something about this type of relationship. Before I let you talk, speak, Jennifer, um, that's why, even for myself, and I know it's not because the person doesn't have a self-esteem or low self-esteem or whatever. Sometimes it's because you so caught up in the relationship, everything is so beautiful, not that it's the right things to do. So you feel like, okay, I'm for you, you are for me, and I live for you, you live for me. You're always there for that person, and he is always there for you, and you don't even think about, okay, I should have, like, something that I can call my own. Should have like my life alive, separate from my relationship. I should go out, have fun without my boyfriend being there. I should have like, a free time for myself. Um, and that's okay. And that's where self-care
Mhm.
coming from. Because you
Actually,
thinking
I,
about your own self, you should be able to love your own self
mhm,
and other to love someone else. But sometimes
exactly,
we think that it's love when we give all the love to somebody else, to someone else, and then not to ourselves.
exactly. Um, Actually, my one of my friends, she's like that. She gave her husband like everything, all herself. But before that, we used to talk, and I used to tell her like, you, in order to love your husband, you have to love yourself first. But she told me, yes, I do love myself, but is my primary um how did she say that thing? She said it in French. Um like um
A
I
primary,
forgot the word.
a,
I forgot the word. Um
you can say it in French. I can try to translate.
Lise moun ki nan yeux là seulement. Li pa wè tèt
Okay,
pa là.
that's how
Like
that's how she
yes, it's
like
like
that's how
he's
she
a
carries
god.
it out.
Yeah, he's a god to her. The
Okay.
way he loves the husband.
Okay.
And I think 2 months ago she called me, and then they are getting a divorce. Yes. And when I asked her why, things were very bad between them. And when I asked her why, she said, you were right. I love them more than I love myself. And I was like, exactly. So you cannot be with someone and then you love that person more than you love yourself. You give that person everything. If he calls you in the middle of the night for something stupid or some to start fight with you, you all there, you give yourself like she was losing herself. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's one thing I hate. I hate it, but I couldn't say anything because it was her husband. In order for me to help her, she should have she should have like opened a door for me
Mhm.
to like try to help her. I couldn't say anything good or bad because every time I say something, she's running back to the husband and tell the husband I said this, I said that, and I was not into it. So now things are a little bit okay, but she's not really okay with herself. Yes.
I can
Yeah,
imagine.
she's okay because she's divorcing him, but mentally she's not okay. But because she keep on crying and then thinks that he's gonna come back for what? Yeah. But one thing is from the beginning, the relationship was based on a lie, but she couldn't see it because she loved the guy. But the guy um didn't want her for like to be
So he didn't want a
wise.
serious relationship.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. He had other things in mind. So now one thing is before you get yourself into a relationship, just think about yourself first and then see if this relationship is okay, is healthy for you. And sometimes you don't have to listen to your friends, to your parents, because you want to have your own experiences. I understand that. But when it's not good, you should know when to step out. Don't wait until the end, you know? Yeah, because mentally, nothing. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
You made
Even
a
some one of the thing I see also is when a girl or a boy are in love, like with or their boyfriend or girlfriend, they tend to close certain relationship with their family because of that person.
or friends.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you love yourself more and then you willing to accept changes, there's a lot of things you're not gonna take from the people you love. Yeah, because they cannot ask you to not talk to certain person in your life, you know. So yeah. Hmm. Yeah, this is
Well,
and
like you said, you made a point with loving yourself. I feel like people tend to forget that. You can't find love elsewhere without loving yourself. You have always
exactly.
heard that saying, like, you have to love yourself before someone else. And people are like, oh, I love them. It's like, but you don't love yourself, so that's just not possible. And then if you don't love yourself, you're trying to fill in that missing piece with that person. You might have some issues from when you were a child, like abandonment issues, or just that lack of affection, and you're looking for that in another person, since you couldn't have that when you were, let's say, when it can go back to when you were a child. So if you're not loving yourself and you're not bringing it to the open and like realizing what's going on with you, or what like, why don't you love yourself, then that's going to be hard to try to open up to the other person, because you can't open up to yourself. You need to, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Hmm.
When it comes to the relationship that you just talked about, Jennifer,
Hmm.
I think those relationships sometimes have to do with, like just like you mentioned, Kimberly, lack of self love. When you
Hmm.
don't love yourself, maybe he has to do some. It had something to do with your, like, your past, like childhood, or maybe you never had a father in your life. That this is
Yeah.
one of the reason that a lot of women tend to accept, what they call love, which is not. They tend to accept that because they never have a father in their lives. They never have someone to love them. Well, maybe they do have someone to love them, but the fact that they didn't have a father, they, like, in their household, they tend to accept any situation just to be like, to feel love, to be loved, which is not love. But what we, like, they need to, like, not understand but work on, because things like that are not easy to understand, because it comes with, like, many issues. I, like, that's how I see it. It comes
Hmm.
with many issues, because if you don't have self love, if you don't love yourself, if you are not capable to understand that, okay, to be able to love someone else, I have to love myself first. I have to have my life. I have to have my privacy, my space, whether I am in a relationship or not. you
Hmm.
know if you do not understand that, or you don't have that, it's a problem. And the problem shouldn't be, only, oh, when I don't have this person in my life, what I am going to do. This should be, okay, I have a life regardless I have a boyfriend or a
Hmm.
girlfriend,
Yeah.
and this life need to continue. And that's why relationship, like, should have boundaries. If you are, okay, that's, I'm in a relationship, this person is my life, it's the love of my life. I don't want to go party with my friends anymore, or family members. I just want to be focused on my relationship. It's okay to stay focused on your relationship, but focusing on your relationship doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a life outside that relationship.
Hmm.
First, like, anyone who feel like that, I think first thing to do is the self-analysis. Think for a moment,
Hmm.
what do you want in life?
Hmm.
And thinking, okay, if I love him that much and there's no space to love my own self, it's not love.
Yeah.
This is not love. You cannot love someone more than yourself. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, if you do that, like, stay from, like, take for a moment and we, like, go through this. Okay, this means me, myself. I think all of us do that once in a while. Look at like ourselves in the mirror and talk to our own selves. I don't know, but I do it.
I do.
I agree.
I do.
Okay, over here.
Mhm.
We have to like, to create or to have a connection with someone else, you have to have this connection with your own self. It's important.
Yeah.
Know your own value, respect yourself, then you will be able to respect the even if it's that person who's going to be in your life as your husband or anyone else, even like the new friends,
Yeah.
like anyone. But the work has to start with yourself.
So, Kimberly, what do you think could help a relationship to work? Not perfectly, but to work greatly.
That's a good question. I feel
Uh-huh.
like we all have our own like perspective, right? And I would say it all starts from the beginning, of course. You
Mhm.
set all the boundaries in the beginning. You can't choose to set a boundary like something bothers you or you realize that something is not the way you want to with yourself or with your partner. And you can't just say mid relationship because then they're going to see it as, okay, you're just trying to change me. But this is why I think it's important to make a relationship work. Even with friends, you always set boundaries of who you are, so they don't catch a surprise when they find something out about you, or you say something, or you feel a certain type of way. Like they know who you are, and I feel like that's always in the beginning. Set those boundaries in the beginning and let them know who you are, so they can respect that.
Good. Oh, and another question. Between communication and sex, which is the best way to keep that relationship going between these two? Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. So you said with communication and sex, like how
Yes.
do?
Yes. Because sometimes I ask this question
Yeah,
when I talk with my friends, and most of them say sex.
is more
And
important.
yes, it's more important than communication.
Ooh.
Yes,
I've never heard of.
because in order to keep that relationship going and to keep their sex life active with their partner, the sex has to be good. That's what they said. Yes.
I disagree with.
And from my other friends, they say communication. When I say why, they said if they don't communicate, they will never know if the sex part is good or not, because they need to ask um other way, and they need to communicate to about other things that
Exactly.
could make the relationship work. So from your perspective and from Use's perspective, I want to know.
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Okay. Um, well, that's very interesting. I feel like there's a balance, but of course, I have to choose one side. I can't say. I would say definitely communication. Is that like your friends mentioned before? Like, you can't communicate if even if it's just something so simple as in like you're not actively with each other so often. How are you gonna do that? You're gonna have to communicate with that person, or just in general, communication is always, I feel like it's key in a relationship
Mhm.
when it comes to arguments, when it comes to sex, when it comes to just anything in general. Even in, I mean, of course, like even when we have friends, we have to communicate everything we do. But I mean, I know right now we're focused on
Mhm.
relationships between boyfriend and girlfriend, but yes, definitely I would say
Mhm.
communication.
Okay. All
I
right.
Well, I'm 100% agree with Kimberly, and I am going to tell you why.
Mhm.
For your friends, well, I have no issue with like, their opinion or the perspective, or they see, like things between communication and sex. But what I would like them to understand, some relationship never work because um, the partner, whether it's the woman or the guy, they tend to resolve problem with sex, not communication.
Another
Something
Mhm.
happened in the relationship, oh, they are mad about something, or someone is cheating. So
Mhm.
the guy said, oh, I know what she wants. Or the
Yeah.
woman or girl said,
Mhm.
oh, I know what like, what
Mhm.
whether she said, he said,
Mhm.
and then, oh, let's get it on. After get it done, she gonna forget about all of it. He's going to forget about all of it, and there's no communication. Guess what's gonna happen?
the argument
Mhm.
that arise again.
Exactly.
It's gonna be an argument.
Exactly.
And you can be 100% sure the same mistake is gonna repeatedly
Over and over and over.
Until the
Mhm.
end.
again and again. Well, when I said that it's better to have communication, that doesn't mean the fact that they have a communication, the fact that they communicated, um, the boyfriend or the girlfriend is not gonna be cheating. No, that's not what I said. But it's always better to have a conversation with your partner when you're upset about something or disagree about something, instead of having sex with that person. Because sex, I don't know, can you communicate to sex? Maybe, maybe not, but not for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think, yeah, that person can see that you love him, you love her, like, through that connection. But if you really upset about something, or very anything, if you have feel some type of way about something, you have to communicate with your partner. Not having sex, you can
Mhm.
have sex afterward, after the communication.
Resolved.
Mhm. So, what would you say to someone who have too much pride in a relationship? Like they want the relationship to work, but they think that they speak highly of themselves and they see themselves on the highest
Level.
level. So what can you tell that person?
Honestly, I feel
Mhm.
like that's when someone is so prideful, it's almost impossible to get through their head. Like you could say so much to try to bring everything to the table for them to realize this is what you're doing, this is who you are. Like those people usually think that they're always right. They are never wrong. And no matter what you do and how you try to explain to them and make them realize, a prideful person is they have a very thick skull in a way. Like they are not gonna accept it until they lose everything they have. They have to lose it until they realize. Just telling them, communicating with them is not. It's just not gonna get them anywhere. Unfortunately, that's I believe that. Some other people might have a different opinion on that, but I feel like it's almost impossible.
Yeah, I tend to agree to disagree. But yes, for someone who's very pride, um, it's hard to get them to not only to settle things down, but also to realize that they are like you're very yeah, they
Mhm.
do not accept that. Sometimes it's this have to do with the childhood also, with their like culture, anything, or with their personality, because sometimes it's all about personality. And I think it's something that they have to realize on their own, or well, because the fact that even somebody else tell them that they tend to not accept it. I think it's something that they have to see it on their own. Like you mentioned, Kimberly, lose it until
Mhm.
realize it. But some
Yeah.
people, they will lose it, and oh yeah, it was my fault. But when they have the another relationship, they still have the same behavior.
Comes back then.
Yeah.
So I think it's something like, it's like uh, just like we usually said, if you are an alcoholic and you deny that you are, like it's gonna be very hard, like difficult to get the help that you need to seek for help. So I think it's the same way. That's the same thing. You have to realize it and accept it, and not only accepting it, but also accept to change like that this behavior. Like I know that it's not going to change like just one time. You that is something that you have to work on like regularly. But if you don't feel like, okay, oh, it's not that, like, it's not something that, that will mess up my life or the people that I love, I don't need to change it because they accept me like that. And there's another thing. Sometimes we have friends or family members, the fact that they think that they love us so much, they accept things that they shouldn't. Oh, I don't want her to be mad, I don't want her to get upset, I don't want him to get upset. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's how
Mhm,
he is. And that's
mhm.
not good. And that's when it comes to like, okay, that's when that those people believe, okay, there's nothing wrong with my behavior because my mom accept me like that, my friends accept me like that, they don't think nothing is wrong with me, so why could you? You see, so it's not something that the person have to work on, like, so it's something that like the person environment needs to help that him or her to work on.
Welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something, it's not that simple, it's a very complicated subject that you touch on today.
One last question, because I feel like I'm killing you right now. Okay, so do you think that having too much pride can intimidate your partner?
Yes. Yes, definitely. It
Okay.
definitely can. And it can affect the relationship in
Yeah.
every aspect.
Mhm. And also, not only that, you will never know how much this person love you or hate you.
Yeah. So, okay.
And that's why I don't, there's something that I don't understand in this word. Some people, they like to like cause fear. Oh, I think that's a good thing for people to feel like me. When you see me, to
Mhm.
be on your that.
Yeah, I'm like that sometimes. But now with in a relationship, but when you meet people for the first time, you want to have that
Good.
intimidating look impression so they can take you serious sometimes. Sometimes
Mhm.
that's what it is.
So Kimberly, I think the well, this will not work. You know why? Because this is not you. If the impression that you are given to someone, so it's not you, it's something that you want that person to see.
Exactly.
But the moment that you get in, like, in a relationship with that person, you're gonna be you, not
Exactly.
that girl that he met, 3 months ago.
Mhm.
And it's not gonna work. So that's why it's better to be like clear with yourself and that person. Put everything in the table. So this is who I am. I know there's other things that you are going to find out afterward when you really get into know me. But this is what I went through. If you want to talk about honesty, and I'm not going through this again. So this is who I am. That's it. Because I'm saying that I know there's people that said it's not good to talk about things that you went through when you are going to a new relationship.
Exactly.
But not talking about that is not going to help you either. That's how I see it. That's my own opinion. If you are talking about that into your head, you have 99% chance that you're not going to apply it because it's all in your head. But if you are clear with yourself and that new person that you are get into a relationship with,
Mhm.
I think you have a lot of chance that this relationship is gonna work. If this is the person
Mhm. Yeah.
that need to be in your life.
I agree.
So
Yeah, because one thing I've learned from my relationship, and one thing also that from the beginning, it affect my relationship a lot. It's the way you said, this is what I've been through. And but the thing is, the things that I've been through, I never I was never open to talk about them,
mhm.
you know? And this part affects my relationship a lot. Yes.
How does it affect it?
Cause he wants to know, I mean, not wants, he wanted to know about my past, like from the day I was born until,
Oh.
yeah, you know, things like I don't want to go through again, you know.
Mhm,
And it wasn't easy for him to understand that,
mhm,
because he said, I love you and you know all about my past, and I'm willing to learn more about your past. Yeah, I understand you were open to talk about your past. I
mhm,
wasn't.
mhm.
And that was a big issue in my relationship for 1 year.
Mhm,
It was a big issue until he actually called me and we talk,
mhm.
and he said, you know what, I was forcing you to do something you were not open to do, and it is your past. I'm not I don't want to be engaged with your past. I want to be engaged with you. And by saying that, he said he want to move forward. So if talking about my past can destroy, like, me mentally, he rather build something in my future that could make me happy. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So yeah, exactly. And I feel like it was very mature of him. And from that day until now, everything is good.
You see,
Everything is perfect.
you see,
You
Kimberly.
understood?
Communication
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to clarify something. When I said that, you sometimes you need to come forward and tell that person that you feel
Mhm.
like we are going serious, you are going to be in a relationship with that person. This is what I like. I went through, and this is not what I'm not going through this again. I'm not saying that you have to open all your book, all
Exactly.
your life to this particular person. Maybe he's gonna learn about them, afterward, after you get
Mhm.
married or whatever, or maybe never. That's something that live with us until
Oh,
we die.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, until we die. But me and my perspective, what I'm saying that if I know that I went through that and I'm not going to it again, if I don't like come clear with the person that I'm going to be with,
Mhm.
if I only set it in my mind, trust me, 99% chance I'm not going to apply it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not accept anything, but I probably accept things that I said that I wasn't going to accept.
Mhm.
And I am going to lie to myself in that sense. So for you, I think
Mhm.
your boyfriend give you that space that you needed, and
Exactly.
also accept the boundaries,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because being in a relationship doesn't mean that I have to tell you everything about myself, or you have to know everything about myself, or I have
Exactly.
to know everything about yourself, because there's some past that need to be, like,
Yeah.
to stay in the past.
Mhm.
Well, by staying in the past, you need to heal from them too.
Yeah.
Healing is very important. So
Mhm.
make sure that you heal yourself from your past experiences, but also set boundaries is a very good thing. And I'm very proud of him for accepting who you are
Exactly.
and accept to move forward with
Exactly.
Yeah.
who you are.
That's why I'm very grateful. He understand. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about, and well, it's been very popular these days. I think red table. I
Mhm.
don't know if you ladies
Mhm.
watch the show or have a glimpse of what happened each week. It's a Jada Smith show,
Mhm.
red table
Yeah.
show.
Uh-huh. You don't know it?
I
Kimberly, you
I
never heard of it?
With Will Smith and
I know the situation if that's what we're talking about that
okay.
happened amongst them, but I don't know anything further into it. But yeah, I do have understanding of the situation
Okay.
there.
Yeah. So these days, the past weeks, I have I've heard talking about gaslighting.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's one big
And
topic.
yeah, and that's a huge topic. And I don't know about you ladies, but this is like that was the very first time I ever heard someone openly talking about that gaslighting. And I'm sure it happened to all of us, to the best of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I saw that conversation, I was like, oh, wow. I even comment, leave a comment to to
Mhm.
IG, because I think that was so important to talk about. Like sometimes there's things we accept, we
Mhm.
like accept in life, we accept from people, and they are not right. They are not right for our own self. For example, one of the invite was talking about like whether a boyfriend or girl or husband who would tend to deny everything that he did
Mhm.
and then make it look back to the girlfriend like you are sick, you are crazy,
Mhm.
so that person gonna feel, oh, so this is my fault. It's just like,
Exactly.
for example, it's
Yeah.
just like those men who's cheating or those women who's cheating. Oh, it was your fault, you made me cheat.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Just come around back to the same person. Like
Mhm.
when did it happen? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very happy to finally see a conversation about gaslighting.
One thing I want to say is that Kimberly, Yuslin, you guys are doing great. Because being able to talk about mental health, I know it's not easy, but being able to do it, I'm very proud of you.
Oh,
But because first of all, I've learned a lot today. Yes. And the second of all is in order to do the job that you're both doing, you have to walk in that person's shoes. Yes.
you know,
And for a very long time, I've been watching using, and she's been doing that. So in order to help others, first you have to help yourself. But um, the way you guys doing it is very.
and
I'm very grateful
oh,
for the things that you are doing. Yeah, really, because
well,
it's not easy.
thank you,
Yeah.
Jennifer. We thank
Because
you.
we have our own problems, and the fact that we seek and listen to others' problem to help them overcome their issues, it's not easy what you both doing. But yeah,
Thank you. Anything that
yeah.
you learned today, Kimberly?
I learned a lot. I always love talking to new people.
Hmm.
Jennifer, who I met today, or just you, Celine, just having a conversation and having our own perspective and our own opinion because we obviously have always something different to share. And it's always something interesting because you're always learning whenever you have a conversation about with someone, you're learning
Hmm.
how they think. You're
Yeah.
learning how they feel. So that was something very that I learned. I learned a lot today from you too, and I hope everyone else does too.
Well, I
Yeah.
am very proud of you, Kimberly, for step forward and
Mhm.
accepting my invite. I
Yeah.
know that it's not something that you usually do, and I really
Mhm.
appreciate that you come here and share some of your experiences and knowledge with my community, which is the Asian community. And as you already know, since well, Kimberly is my friend, so she's not a stranger. She already know the purpose of this show. And I really, really, really grateful to have you.
I appreciate your
Here.
invite to bring me here and be able to share how I feel and my perspective. It was very lovely too.
Oh,
Thank you.
And hopefully we can get you back to talk about relationship between parents and their children.
Such
yes,
a
and the boundaries.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes,
yes.
for sure. Right. Once again, thank you, Kimberly. And let's continue to get to know each other. This is Yuslin.
Jennifer,
Anu yon apren kon lot. Kimberly, say it before you go. Anu
Anu
yon
yon
apren
apren
kon
con
lot.
lat.
Yeah.
I tried.
Bye. Bye.
all right,
Enjoy the
bye.
rest of your day. Bye.